Program contains flashing images. Tonight's subject features the Old St. Bernard's Hospital and contains elements that some viewers may find distressing.
He's wanting to throw things around. I need food to move back, please, while I leave this out.
Okay.
Please. Do you move all the way back? It's trying to take over my body. Just move all the way.
The following program has been filmed for your entertainment. However, viewers may find some scenes disturbing. The old St. Bernard's Hospital. The site was once a military barracks. It then became a military hospital and then a civilian hospital. The site is now abandoned, derelict, decrepit, crumbling away. Some of the workers on this site have told us that they still hear voices, that some of the former patients still walk the corridors. This week on the Ghost Trail, we're going to try and find out who they are.
Hello, my name is Michael Scott, and I'm the skeptic. I don't like the idea that, although people have a personal experience that can change your life, I think that you have to sort of examine it a little bit further than that, rather than just your own personal experience. So I'd hope that, if anything, if I had a personal experience on this, it would be to open the doors to more investigation, rather than just like, okay, now I believe in ghosts.
My name is Kieran Possum. I'm a believer and a member of the Gibraltar Paranormal Society. Well, fear of the unknown is something that we all experience at some stage. But yes, I mean, we have Hollywood as well to blame, where we see all these films of, Exorcist and other type of films which are similar, and we associate at a subconscious level this subject with, those films, and obviously they're not true.
People want answers. They want answers to these traditional questions that have been at the root of civilizations for many, many centuries. What is there after death? What's on the other side? And this exercise is probably one of the most curious and unusual pieces of investigative journalism I've ever done.
Well, it's a site of a hospital for at least 400 years, because in Spanish times there was a kind of hospital there. There was a Sir Juan Mateos was a local inhabitant at the time, and he gave the land to be used as a hospital for mariners, for seamen. And eventually it was taken over by the order of San Juan de Dios, St. John of God, and it became a hospital. So the history of the site as a hospital goes back for quite some time. During the 18th century, the Royal Navy took it over as a Royal Naval Hospital until about 1746, and then they moved to the Naval Hospital, what we now call the Old Naval Hospital with the quadrangle. So it was a naval hospital until 1746. Then after that, the army took it over as barracks. And quite curiously, it seems that they painted the barracks blue, so it was known actually as the Blue Barracks for a while. Then they moved out, and probably one of the most benevolent governors the world has had, George Donne, in 1815 decided that it was time for the civilian population to have a hospital. So he gave the premises, the barracks, to the civilian community for a hospital.
My name is Kevin Sokun. and I was a charge nurse at the Old St. Bernard's Hospital on nights. During this time, we shared many paranormal experiences. For example, I remember one night that we were 3 of us in an office and the phone suddenly starts ringing. We all looked at each other in amazement because that telephone was actually not connected to the jack. Although we answered the phone, there was nobody on the other side. My role was to walk around the hospital and check on all clinical areas, nursing staff and patients.
Is the old maternity ward, particularly the bottom floor. There were two floors, and the bottom floor is the one that most people say that they didn't like to be put there because it felt very sinister, it was cold, you know.
So really the site has been a hospital for the better part of 400 years, managed in different ways by an order, a Catholic order, then briefly by the Royal Navy, then as a barracks, and then more recently as a civilian hospital until almost yesterday.
One particular major incident happened in the ward just above us here, in the toilet sluice area, where moans and groans were being heard. So we decided to phone the night sister who was in charge of the hospital at the time. When she came, she thought it was a prank, and she was actually looking for a tape recorder that might have been hidden there. She soon identified that the noises were genuine, and no patient was accountable for his moans and groans. She decided to phone the actual late Bishop Caruana, who actually came up. I remember him carrying out certain prayers, and during this ritual the toilet started bubbling, creating a large noise. It looked like a jacuzzi basically. And then it all settled down and these groans and moans disappeared.
And in the case of the hospital, there you have it. Before a hospital, before a barracks, it was a monastery. The British took over Gibraltar, it became a hospital. A barracks for the military, because the invaders ransacked the place. They took over churches, and they took, they converted them to stables, into storerooms, into barracks. It was sacrilege, for them. The Protestants couldn't take the Catholics. So anything that smacked of Catholicism, they would sort of, get rid of it. All the statues were dumped and things like that. But yes, the area where the hospital is has quite a history.
Samantha Donbevand says she can speak to those who have left our mortal realm. However, she has never been to Gibraltar before, she doesn't know where we're taking her, and she hasn't done any prior research.
I trained as a holistic health practitioner 15 years ago, always been very, very intrigued naturally in the mind, body and spirit connection. In 2004 I was subject to a Section 1820 assault and left with a disability with no cure. So I had to give up my practice, and that kind of pivoted me to want to train and reduce the pain. I also mentioned that during that near-death experience I did go out of body and actually saw my own body, so that amplified my spiritual gifts in such a way which can happen to some people. I then trained in hypnotherapy and it reduced my pain level, and there was hope, there was inspiration for me, because this pain condition, there's no cure and you are in chronic pain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so it did dramatically improve my life. And then I experienced regression therapy, and that was it. That was kind of the key, really, to everything. And I was then pain-free, and my condition went in remission. And then I thought, wow, this is amazing. It works much quicker than counselling, psychology, everything like that. And yeah, my life changed dramatically, and that started my journey.